Hi, my name is Tim Miller, and we're going to walk through my garden here in Wheeler. So I hope you enjoy it. We'll take a quick walk through and see what's going on. This is one of my driftwood sculptures. I enjoy collecting driftwood in the wintertime. This is one that I did last fall. There's also a new acquisition here. This is an agate that came out of the Nehalem River last fall. So I really like it, so I put it next to my steps here. It's part of my my backyard. I have a lot of pots back here. There's a lot of things back here, cactuses and herbs, and I really enjoy composing the pots, moving them around in different areas, and we spend a lot of time out here in the evenings. Generally, I try and go with the ones that don't have needles. Because I have to handle them. I have to put them inside in the winter so the roots don't rot, so I put them in my cold frame, so I try and avoid the ones that have lots of needles. They're just little mosaic benches that I made out of logs and tile scraps that I had from certain jobs. But there's a piece of hardware cloth underneath because the wood expands and contracts, so it keeps the mosaic stable. But I've had those for years. They're really colorful, and I like them. I like them in the yard. Over here is my fish pond and some carnivorous plants. There's a nectar lure on the top of the hood here, and it lures insects in, and they get inside, and there's hairs that point down, so once they start crawling down, they can't come back up. And this one is a really primitive variety. It doesn't actually digest the insects. They just kind of decay, and then the plant absorbs the nutrients. Whereas those two over there actually have a basin inside the stalks where they actually digest the insects. Collect the driftwood in the winter when there's lots of nice stuff coming up on the beach. And then I drill a hole and run a piece of 5/8 inch rebar through the hole, and then just stack them up in an arrangement that pleases me. So this one is a trellis for the star jasmine. This is a Chief Joseph lodgepole pine. It's a favorite of mine. I've had this for probably almost 15 years now. It was just really tiny when I got it, but it's really beautiful in the winter. It turns bright yellow. It's a variety that was recently discovered the last 20 years or so. They didn't even know about it until fairly recently. This is my tomato crop this year. I started using this red mulch years ago, and I really like it. I never grow tomatoes without it anymore. It serves a lot of functions. It keeps the weeds down for one thing, which is nice. It also retains the moisture, so you're less likely to get blossom end rot. The tomatoes don't dry out quite as much, and it filters the red light, which is supposed to improve your crop up to, I think, 20 or 30%, which I do believe it helps, but I like it for the moisture retention and the weed barrier. I'm going to try some popcorn this year. This is pink popcorn. It's a short season variety. It's said it can grow in maritime climates. It's such a challenging year to garden this year. We'll see what happens. But it also has the green mulch to heat up the soil and give it an extra boost. But it's starting to tassel this week, so I may get some popcorn. It'll be interesting to see, but that's the fun of gardening, is trying new varieties. So I'm giving pink popcorn a shot this year. That's salmon driftwood fence I put on the ledge there. It's driftwood I collected 3 years ago, and then assembled it into a fence in the shape of a salmon. Yeah, these are all deer-resistant perennials. We have yarrow and echinacea. There's a bee balm variety back there that I really love. It's called Jacob Klein. It gets quite tall, about 5 feet tall, and it is mildew resistant, which is really nice for bee balm. There's Rebecca, some red hot pokers, some lavender. There's a fairy wand in the middle of that bed that I really like, that is just about done for the season. It's some Jerusalem sage, and then some thrift in the front here. This is another one of my flower beds. This one is all red, and they're also all deer resistant, except for they like to chew on the flowers of the Crocosmia. This year, though, there were so many of them that they didn't really impact it much. And the sculpture is a sculpture that my father and I made back in 1992. I've had it for a long time. It spins around in the wind. It's kind of impeded now by the Crocosmia, but has a lead fish that I cast on the end. It's really kind of interesting in the winter. It just swings around at a pretty good clip. I've got a few fruit trees here. This one was already here when I moved in. This one was really laden with fruit last year, which was really nice. This one is an Italian plum that I planted last year, a Puget apricot over there, and this one is a Williams Pride apple that I also planted last year, is doing quite well. So these nylon socks I put on my apples. They keep the codling moths from and the apple maggots from polluting my fruit. I had a nice crop last year and they were all really nice pristine apples, so I tried them again this year. And then I have my cold frame over there that I built last fall that I winter my cactuses over, and then I plant my early vegetable starts in there. So that's a new thing from last fall. This is a Waite's Golden Pine, which I brought with me here. It was about half this size 4 years ago. It kind of is easy to encourage, to kind of get that windswept look. So I had weights on it when it was younger and kind of had a hand in shaping it. But I really like how it's sort of taken on a bonsai form. And it's a really pretty tree in the wintertime. It turns school bus yellow. Really beautiful.